Day 3 of the CEO manhunt has ended without an arrest. NYPD believes it has found the killer's backpack in Central Park. After leaving Central Park, he took a taxi to a bus terminal. This terminal offers commuter service to New Jersey and Greyhound routes to Philadelphia, Boston, and Washington, D.C. They found video of him entering the bus terminal after fleeing the scene, but no video of him exiting, leading them to believe he left the city. Police will also test for DNA and fingerprints on the discarded bottle and protein bar wrapper found near the scene. Remember they released pictures of the guy with his face mask down? Apparently that happened because a worker at the hostel was flirting with him and asked him to take his mask down. And that's why he's smiling in it. You can't make this shit up. And the lousy $10,000 reward has now been up to $50,000 by the FBI. Kinda laughable considering this guy's worth so much. $50,000 is definitely more enticing for someone that wants to report anything that they know, if they've seen this guy before, if they're neighbors with him, if they've seen him at a gun range. And apparently the gun he's been using could be some sort of covert, like, spy gun. And that's why each time he shoots it, you have to, like, reload it or whatever. Right now, they're saying they don't know who this is, which I find hard to believe. They have his face, a partial fingerprint that was smudged, and potentially his DNA now. They could put it in those websites where people put their DNA or whatever in a tube and send it and see if they get a hit with someone he's related to, his mother, his brother, a cousin. But I find it hard to believe they don't know who this is yet, because it's the goddamn FBI, and it's been, what, 2 days now? I think it could be a strategic move for them to not alert him that they know who he is exactly yet. But now they know he left New York City, which means he could be anywhere. Also, someone yapped on some news station, I don't know who it was, but he said that he thinks he could have hired his own killer. I haven't looked into that theory yet. There's so many theories with this case, but someone comment down below why you'd want to hire your own killer. That's clearly the book bag they found, right? Like, that's 100% a book bag just in the bushes somewhere in Central Park. I wonder what was in that book bag. Since he left a message behind on the bullet casings, I would imagine there's more messages inside that book bag. There's probably a whole damn manifesto in there, and they haven't released it to the public yet. They also think it could be a veterinary gun he used. I think it's called a B&T V9 or B&T VP9. That's what it's called. Yeah, you can look up pictures of it. I'm not showing it in my video because YouTube will fucking kill the video. All right, here's the press conference from today, or a little bit of an interview at least.
We have reason to believe that the suspect or a person of interest may have left New York City, and so we want to get the photo out to a national audience, and we want all your viewers to take a good look at the photo, and if you recognize the person in the photo, call 1-800-577-TIPS. Our investigators, our detectives chase down every lead that we get, but we need your audience to help us out.
Half of you aren't subscribed. Please hit subscribe. Thank you guys.
And let us know if they recognize the person. I'll also say, if you see the person on the street, don't call that number, call 911, because the person could be armed and dangerous.
Well, just from looking at the video canvas that we've been doing, is we were able to track him all the way from the incident location itself, and eventually we have him entering the Port Authority bus terminal at 178th Street and Broadway. As we know, that's an interstate bus terminal, so it's our belief we saw him go in, we didn't see him come out, so it's our thought that he got on one of those buses, and we're running that down now. Yeah, we believe he was here for about 10 days, but we have that bus leaving the same morning, him going up to the Port Authority terminal the same morning of the incident, approximately an hour afterwards.
A lot of people commented on my last video saying they don't think this is the same guy from the shooting. I think it is. I don't know. I feel like they'd be really dumb to release these pictures of this guy. Basically ruin this guy's life. He would have already came out and been like, yo, that's me, and I'm not the fucking shooter. It's been like, what, 48 hours since they released these pictures? Probably like, actually like 36 hours. It's all random planted evidence. I hope all three items are of different DNA. Literally random trash. There's also a lot of people saying he intentionally had doppelgangers. Like, he got on a bike, or he left in a car out of Central Park and the bike guy wasn't him. There's been a doppelganger, and it's a big whole plan with multiple people. Wouldn't surprise me, but that would take so much coordination. One mystery I hope remains unsolved. Is anyone else worried that he might be hot? Is crazy.
We have items that are up for DNA analysis and for ballistics, the shell casings, the water bottle. That's being analyzed. We're waiting for the results on that. What you're seeing now is eventually an identification to happen. The next part of that will be is, where is he? And it looks like, you know, we see that he might have left and came from Atlanta for his bus in November. So now you're going to probably target down the southern areas of the United States.
Allegedly, the investigators find this water bottle and a wrapper of the candy bar.
Yeah, the DNA's big. If they can get that DNA back to someone, but some people think it's planted, they got this man's DNA, partial fingerprint that's smudged. a book bag he had on, his face, sooner or later, they're going to figure out who the fuck he is, right?
Alleyway, left behind for forensic testing, maybe on his, the one assumption is he dropped it on his way to go. But I find that weird to purchase those items, knowing you're going into a store where you could be seen, where you could be on the surveillance tape. Just a weird little dynamic of this.
That this shows the lack of professionalism by the shooter when we're talking about this.
Lack of professionalism is true. That's why I think it could be planted, if I were to believe that conspiracy, because he seems calculated killing this guy, calm, knew how to use that gun, knew where the guy was going to be at. It was all calculated, right? But then he leaves a book bag behind, knowing they're going to track him to Central Park. He leaves a water bottle in an alley. Like, it's all too dumb. It almost seems like he could have done it to throw them off, but I don't know if he's that smart or he just made some mistakes already. They have to know who this guy is already.
That mistake is very important to this whole investigation as to what he did, because not only are shell casings left, but now you have forensic evidence that's left. So that's beneficial to the police. We look for those mistakes.
Yeah, and let me clarify a little bit about the jacket and the backpack. So the jacket and the backpack that this man is wearing at what appears to be the Starbucks seems to be the same jacket and backpack at the scene of the crime. But on Thursday, when Crime Stoppers released photos of who they identified as a person of interest from inside the hostel where this person was staying, people online pointed out that the appearance is different. Because in these photos, the man appears to be wearing a green jacket. It's still a darker color, but not black or dark gray like it appeared in the security camera shots. And the jacket in the hostel photo also appears to have these prominent front pockets, while you can't really see anything like that on the darker jacket in the Starbucks shot. So it's possible it could be the same person, but different jackets. Could be maybe the lighting is just not accurate, and the shots, as we were talking about, are a bit grainy. And when it comes to the backpack, the scene of this crime in the Starbucks, and in the getaway shot, the backpack has this gray or lighter colored straps, but in the hostel photos, the straps are black. And we don't know exactly when these surveillance cameras caught the apparent suspect, but it's just a weird aspect of this. So you could say, okay, big deal, he's traveling, maybe he brought this, or maybe it's a trick of the light, but some people are skeptical that this is maybe not even the same person, that police might be barking up the wrong tree. Dave, just to put a bow on that point.
That's why detectives do what they do. We're looking for the person that committed the crime. And that's the whole thing. They're building probable cause. You have a person who conducts a shooting. The lighting in the surveillance camera is grainy. So what you're doing is, and I've said this earlier, there's a pre and post. The post is looking to see where they could locate him. The pre is doing victimology and where he was prior to the shooting, because we have a time established in that 6 o'clock hour, in that late 6 o'clock hour. We know there's a shooting. Now we want to see is where was he before that shooting?
Do you think he had help?
Proficient shooter, planned ideas. It's hard to continue that without some sort of assistance or some sort of help, in a sense, to kind of, because usually people, when they involve themselves in types of shootings, and the shell casings there with deny to fund on that, creating an ideology or creating an anger. Someone sometimes has to support that. Someone doesn't really always go off by themselves. Okay, the lone gunman. Something had to get him to the point where saying, today's the day. I'm going to do this.
He knows exactly where Thompson is going to be at precisely that time. Now, unless he knew he was going to be a speaker at the investors conference, how did he know that he was going to show up early at that time? And it makes me wonder, could he have found this information out on his own? Or did he have inside information? And again, we're speculating, we don't know, but it's a question. I think it's a fair question to ask.
We always have to speculate because, we have to see because that's the thing. That day, if he's here this long, the victim is here a day. He doesn't do anything until this moment. And I've always asked this question I always ask, why now? Why is this moment the time he does it? Because he knew the schedule. The conference is at 8 o'clock in the morning. He's there at 6.
So if this guy's smart and he doesn't want to get caught, he's probably in a different country. If he's smart and had this planned out on some damn Walter White Heisenberg shit. But if he's not smart, he's going to be found somewhere in like Florida or some shit, dude. Sooner or later, they're going to ID him. It's going to happen. Like, he's cooked. He's got to leave the country if he doesn't want to get caught. Yeah, but that's all the updates for day 3. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Peace out.